What up? Welcome back to Mic'd Up with Michelangelo. Today I'm here with Megha Bajaj. Indian actress, MTV star in India. Reality 1.1 million followers on Instagram, 175K on subscribers on Snapchat. You're on TV show on Snapchat with 55,000 subscribers on it. Travel vlog, traveling the world, fashion model, icon in India, setting the tone. Tell us a little bit more if I missed anything. Did I miss anything?
No, you did not. You covered that very precisely.
Okay.
I have done a lot of other things also, but those are more in the hospitality sector.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, yeah, that pretty much sums up my life. I grew up doing theater since the age of 10, and then I did a couple of TV shows and a lot of modeling and a lot of TV commercials and stuff like that. And then I did 2 reality shows with MTV in India. And then social media took off and I was traveling a lot. And that's when Snapchat came along, and then we did the travel show on Snapchat. I had about 15 episodes, which was covering 15 different destinations that I had done. And yeah, now I'm here.
Touching base on your Snapchat show, how was that entirely in process? Did Snapchat reach out to you and go, hey, we love what you're doing, we have an idea for you? Did you reach out to Snapchat? How did you actually get a TV show with Snapchat? So, that's something new to me. I didn't even know Snapchat was actually producing TV shows.
Yeah. So actually, Snapchat was just revamping at the time.
Okay.
And they were changing their whole image and trying to make it more of a platform for content creators, as opposed to just, people snapping each other and stuff. Mm-hmm. Which is when they were recruiting a lot of creators, and they reached out to me, and the head of the global team had basically shortlisted my profile to give me a gold star account, which is a creator's account, and they had me on a contract for 3 months to create content for them exclusively. Now, apart from this, there was a Indian really famous, you could call her like a paparazzi blogger or something like that. She
like the TMZ of India.
Sort of. Okay. Her name is Miss Malini. She has a really big channel in India. So her team reached out to me. They were sponsoring a show for Snapchat, which was going to be on the basis of travel. And I used to do a lot of travel integrated with fashion and beauty. So for me, like my lifestyle or all of that mixed a lot with travel, because I used to travel a lot. Okay. So they reached out to me and they said, we love what you do and we just want to like put it down in like different episodes. So I had complete creative freedom of whatever I was shooting, and I just had to give them the content, but I was getting paid to do it, which was
they gave you a budget, of course, to put together. Yeah. And then you shot, and then you gave them the content, they edited it.
It's kind of like them buying the content from me. So I was already doing my travel and then shooting my content. They just wanted the exclusive bits for their episodes that they were putting
together. And then they edited and put it all together and that released. Yeah. How was that?
It was not something that I really cared about much. It was just like, oh my God, I really love travel anyways. And I'm anyways going to shoot all this content. And someone wants to put it down into a travel show. I would love that. So when they were editing the whole content and putting it together, it turned out really nice. So I think for it to be documented like that, and for a lot of people to be able to see the places that I was traveling to and the experiences I was doing in that particular city, from my perspective, was so fun.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, I had no idea Snapchat was actually had a TV section of their app. I've drawn away from that. Maybe I need to get back on there. Maybe we
need. It's kind of fun actually. They have. I would say that the connectivity and how people associate with Snapchat now is so different.
Is it? At one point in time, there was a dark stage.
I agree.
There was a really dark stage for Snapchat. There was XXX explicit content, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it. It was too much spam, so I stepped away from it. And but I guess now so many people are actually returning to it. A lot of my friends that are content creators, they're back on there. They said that Snapchat now has something for content creators to benefit, ads and all kinds of stuff. So,
and the fun part is that from a creator who's literally just doing dance content to a creator who just does, say, cooking-based content, to a creator who goes out and does actual pranks on the street and stuff. There's a lot of fun content to see on Snapchat.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, well, so you're from India, correct? What part of India?
I grew up in Chandigarh, which is the capital of Punjab and Haryana.
Okay.
And That's where I did theater while growing up. And then I moved right after college to Bombay, and I lived in Bombay while I was acting. Because Bombay is like, the Hollywood of
Bollywood.
India. Exactly.
That's what's known for Bollywood.
Is based over there, yeah.
Okay. There's not a city called Bollywood though, right?
No.
Okay, that's just
Bombay
the thing. Bombay's like Bombay's nickname.
It's the industry that's called Bollywood, and Bombay is where the industry is based. So.
Oh, the industry's called Bollywood.
Yes.
That's like, okay.
Yeah.
That's like their entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I know their music industry is huge too. They have artists over there like crazy.
Very diverse.
A friend of mine just did a song with an Indian singer. They just did a pop song together, Jason. Okay, so tell me something. I know we talked about this before, but I want to just ask it because this was a fun fact that I didn't know. And you could probably explain it for them because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard this before. If you do have friends that are Middle Eastern or Indian or from that side of the world, you've always heard there's Punjabi and what's the other type of Indian?
There's a lot of classifications with regards to that.
Okay.
India, as small as the country is very diversely distributed into different, like every state has its own culture, its own religion. Every religion has sub-religions or different sects of that particular religion. Like even with Muslims, there's Bori Muslims, there's there's another type of Muslims. Sunni Muslims. So I don't know exactly what the terms are, but there are different types of Punjabis also. There's Haryanvi Punjabis, there's Hindu Punjabis, there's Sikh Punjabis. So I think it has something to do with like every area's Punjabis or what their origin was like. It just diversifies further into what your religion and your caste adds up to.
Right.
And the fun part is that every division has their own language, they have their own dialect, and they also have their own food and their own kind of music.
So it's almost like a country within the country, but it's a state.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
it's
there's
also
actually a difference to everything culture-wise. That's pretty crazy.
And there's also Sindhi Punjabis, which are originating from the Pakistan area, the Sindhi area, but there's a huge population of them also. So I don't know, there's a lot of diversification with that. Like even with Gujaratis, there's Jain Gujaratis, there's regular Gujaratis, there's Muslim Gujaratis.
That side of the world is the oldest part of the world, right? Over there is where all the religions started. Everything started like...
Maybe. But I feel like I personally am not that religious.
Right.
So I don't... like for me, even when I was a kid and I used to travel and they would have a Bible in the side drawer in your hotel rooms and stuff, I would just read it because I loved the stories.
Okay.
For me, I'm not religious like that. I don't believe in superstitions and stuff. I feel like the one message that every religion teaches you is to be a good human being. Don't do to other people what you don't want them to do to you.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what karma revolves around and what the law of the universe revolves around. What you think about, you attract, and that's what you bring about. The similar experiences come back to you. I think that's the only thing that is important in terms of...
and I understand that entirely. Being a good person is ultimately what I've noticed has been the last...
Yeah.
Like the final message that every religion gives you.
Yeah. But I think in terms of what you asked me as a question, the origin of religion or whatever, I don't even know how far back that goes.
Yeah.
But I think every religion has some or the other story that coexists.
Nice.
So like Jesus would be, or Moses would be the angel of another religion's story. So
they all trickle back to one massive, of course. So let's get into... You originally said you did theater at a younger age, and then you got into acting. You said MTV India, which is, I don't think a lot of people understand this, but the world is huge. And typically you do what you see in the United States, some of our bigger companies like MTV, VH1, or like GQ magazines, they have chapters around the world where they're doing basically the exact same thing in the United States, in another country, which what makes them multi-million-dollar companies. Somebody when I was at a younger age told me, if you cannot make $1 million in one location, you can make $100,000 in 7 locations. That's the quickest way. So MTV India, how popular was that show that you were on? You said you did the reality. Tell us about that reality show that you did.
So the first one that I did was during my initial days of modeling and stuff. It was with Maybelline. It was called Maybelline Maybe It's Me. It was looking for the new it girl or the new face of Maybelline for their campaigns and stuff.
Okay, and for Maybelline India. Okay.
And the second show that I did was powered by Voot. And it was called Forbidden Angels. And that show was basically about finding today's women who are like, you know, empowered, who are good in different fields. So it was from the criteria of testing your ability to look good in front of the camera to, you know, acting tasks to creating fashion outfits as a designer from scrap materials to testing your mental capacity and ability.
Wait, so you were designing as well?
Yeah. Different episodes had different tasks.
Okay. Oh, so they had you guys going through the barracks.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
It was, I would say that while I was on it, it was a fun experience to a certain extent, but I personally do not resonate with reality shows. I don't like the aesthetics of reality shows. I feel like reality is never reality.
Yeah, it's still scripted.
Probably should be saying that out loud. It is beyond scripted, and they have to create a storyline which is entirely fake so that they can get like a lot of
clickbait.
Precisely. Oh my God, this person is so poor. They're living the dream. You know, they get to be on TV and they get to achieve XYZ and reach this particular point. So there's, to be honest, like literally no truth behind any of that, but then the drama and to keep people intrigued and to get them hooked onto what's going on and also to make them resonate with the winner that, oh my God, you know, I could be that. It's all scripted. It's fake. Yeah. So I don't agree with that stuff.
No, I don't blame you. Okay, so then moving forward, obviously you're pursuing acting and you come down to the States now. Now, in the States, they have terminologies, which is, I'm sure it has been adapted worldwide now for somebody like you that has 1.1 million followers, and these terms are called influencers. How do you feel being categorized as an influencer?
Not so good.
Not so good? No. Right? Because, I mean, you have this abundance of following, which is true. You know, 1.1 million followers is a lot of followers. That's probably that's double the size of multiple cities in the United States. Sometimes, you know, a lot of these smaller cities in the Midwest don't even have 1 million people. Some of them don't even have 100,000 people.
When you think about it like that,
1.1 million followers is a lot of followers. Every little thing you say or anything you show, you know, it gives huge influence to people, and you have a wide range of eyes that are watching you. Yeah. So in turn, you do have influence, but you don't. I don't really. You don't appreciate the term.
So I'll tell you, the stigma attached to influencers is, the term influencers is that 11 out of 10 people these days call themselves an influencer. And
11 out of 10?
Quite literally, unfortunately.
That's one more than 10.
Yeah.
Okay. It's 110% then. Yeah.
The problem with that is that who are you trying to influence and with what? Yeah. People think that just because you're getting free stuff, you're trying to shove it in our face, and that there is no credibility to what you're talking about because, you know, as long as you get your freebies, you're just going to say this is good. Or as long as you want to create drama on social media to get people to follow you or engage with your content, you're going to lie and you're going to create stories that are fabricated so that you can instigate people on social media. So either ways, it doesn't look good when someone, categorizes people in the terms of calling them an influencer these days, because a lot of people misuse their ability to talk to people and have an impact on people to influence them in a wrong way. Right. I personally do not agree with that term because I don't think I have anything on my social media that I use to influence people. Okay. For me, I use my social media as a platform to create content. Okay. And I have always looked at it from the perspective of if I was creating ads for brands or if I was creating editorial, those magazine pages that you would see, the pullouts in the middle that would be like, oh my God, this is so pretty, this is so fancy. I would want to go there. I would want to wear this outfit. You know, this brand looks good. I want to check it out. I feel like I do that. So for me, being called a digital content creator is more apt as opposed to being called an influencer. Okay. And I do not personally like the idea of trying to influence someone.
Yeah.
So what I do on my social media and what I have done since the beginning is that I would talk about things that I would genuinely spend my own money on. It can be from all areas and aspects of my life. If I go out, I go to restaurants that I would genuinely want to go to and eat at. Because, oh my God, this looks interesting. So now if someone else resonates with my personality or my choices, they'd be like, yeah, when I go to this place, I want to go here. This was a good spot. If I'm like, when I moved to New York, my content became vastly about the things I was doing in the city, the places I was exploring as a new person. So from going to an experience where you could paint your own paintings to going to a blindfolded sculpting class, I would do anything that would personally intrigue me.
Okay.
To workout sessions, to whatever you want to call it, like
more
movies in the park, free movies in the park, with the sunset behind you. Whatever I would want to personally do is the stuff that I would put out on my social media. Brands that I would spend my money on are the brands that I would put out on my social media. I could have 10 different brands offering me endorsements, but if I would not personally, like betting platforms, for example, and stuff, like if I would not be intrigued enough to like jump into something like that, I don't think I would talk about it.
Okay.
I don't care if I'm getting paid for it or not. If a brand doesn't...
Yeah, so entirely like the influencer and, it kind of, the way you expressed it kind of resonates with the same expression you gave for reality TV. So being in the influencers, I think, like you said, 11 out of 10, I think it has been overshadowed with the benefit of having a huge following or being on social media has been overshadowed by people who just want the benefits of it and actually don't appreciate the professionalism behind being a content creator,
the moral obligation behind why you
Yeah.
should be on it.
Yeah, and then fabricating and all that stuff. I mean, it's never fun.
Like, I'm not kidding. When back in India, I used to do these, beauty release campaigns for these brands where they would launch these new range of lipsticks or blushes or whatever. When I would post for them on that particular day, I would not have as many swipe ups and, people going to actually shop on the platform, as opposed to if I genuinely like the lipstick that I've been posting about and I carry it with me to London and I'm literally just sitting in a cafe Nero and sipping on this hot chocolate, and then I reapply my lipstick and I do this little boomerang. I had 15 DMs in an hour. And I had 10 of my friends message me on WhatsApp, hey, what was that shade? What's that lipstick? What are you wearing?
More of organic feel, more authentic.
Yeah.
Okay. That's true. Now let's talk about how did you get to 1 million followers? That's a huge goal.
Being in modeling and whatever, sort of helped.
It just kind of developed.
Getting on Instagram when it was brand new and barely anyone knew about the platform helped.
Okay.
I got on Instagram when I'd basically taken a sabbatical from the industry and I just moved into a hospitality job. I was working with St. Regis Hotel for this nightclub that they had. And for me, Instagram was just a platform that had newly come up. It was intriguing. I thought if I ever feel like going back into modeling or acting, I would have this one page where all my ads and my print stuff and, all my photo shoots are published. And I can go and show them this as my workbook or, whatever. I started posting on Instagram and next thing I knew, I just had a lot of followers and it just kept blowing up from there. And then I had brands reaching out to me from like Russia, from like different parts of the world. And they'd be like, we would love to send you XYZ products from our, website. And I'd just be like, okay, if I would shop from this brand regardless, it could be swimsuit, it could be gym wear, it could be skinny tea, it could be something like that, or supplements. I'd be like, yeah, okay, I would want to try this out. And then before I knew it, agencies started reaching out to me saying this brand wants to work with you. How much would you charge for this? And I'm like, wait a second. I didn't know you could actually get paid for this.
Right.
Yeah. And then I sat with a friend of mine and I'm like, explain this to me. She said, oh, you didn't know? I said, nope, no idea.
Okay.
So she explains.
And how long ago was this?
Like literally the beginning of Instagram, like 6 months into Instagram.
How early was that? Did India, you were still in India at the time, correct?
This is
did India receive
6 months into when Instagram had just launched. And
in India?
Everywhere, worldwide. Okay. So Instagram was just this new app and I don't even know how, but I just saw some news alert or something. I was just randomly browsing through something while I was at work and I'm like, waiting my, so I used to work for 3 hours while the club was, on. And then the first hour or so was when I had to be busy attending to the people who had bought their tables and stuff and to get them in and everything. And then it would just be like, until the party gets over. So I remember just hanging around over there and then, just scrolling and like, I don't know how I just came across this article that was talking about this new platform called Instagram, and a couple of celebrities were intrigued about it and they got on it. And I'm like, let's check this out. And I just download Instagram and, I'm like, this is fun because no one can actually DM me.
Oh, that changed real quick, didn't it?
Yeah, but it's really not as bad as how Facebook used to be.
Oh.
I don't know why, but people would get so triggered if you had the, the online notification on. And
that you were on, but you weren't replying messages. Yeah. At one point, there was a very toxic point of social media, right between
sense of
MySpace, Facebook. Yeah, sense of time. Or if I send you a message and you don't reply back, especially somebody you knew, they just did it. I mean, you can end a friendship.
The people I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I don't know if you guys had this in India, but do you remember MySpace? Your top 8. Yeah, if you didn't have if you didn't put one of your friends in your top 8, it was a wrap.
But luckily, it wasn't really big in India. So MySpace was very limited. Orkut, I think, had done a little better in India, and that's that.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. So, all right, now you traveled. You've come and you've joined us in the United States. Welcome, of course, once again. You brought your talents here. You're pursuing your acting career.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So in India's population, it says 1,326,093,247 people.
Maybe just say the number.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I think India is known for having, the biggest population in the world right now.
I think we're slowly going to surpass China.
Really? Let's see.
Currently, China's number 1. For a country our size, we don't have to have that many people.
It is India in 2022.
Oh,
India has...
I didn't even know that.
Has overtook China as the country with the largest population in the world, with more than 1.43 billion people.
Jesus.
Oh, we're actually number 3 on the list with 340 million.
But the United States is like...
We're missing 1 billion people.
Huge.
It's huge. We have a lot of land. We just don't have nobody here.
Maybe we should get more Indians in here. Take them all. That is precisely why all the immigrants from different places or refugees and all that.
Well, that's why we're a melting pot. That's why we're a melting pot. We're new land, and that's how you get people who are mixed with multiple races like me, and then you're all over the place, right? Okay, now what kind of transition and lifestyle difference was it for you to actually touch base and start living in New York City? I mean, now you're also around that's not even 1/10. That's like 1/1000th of the amount of people in the world.
Lifestyle-wise, it was for me. The transition had happened a lot earlier because I was living between London, Mumbai, and Dubai.
Okay.
So I wasn't 100% in India. That transition happened a long time ago. Like in terms of what life is like in cities, in even the best metropolitan cities in India, and what life is like in a city like New York. The opposition is that I would never walk on the streets in India. It just doesn't feel safe for most of it.
It's not safe.
No.
I mean, I'm sure everybody I've always heard so many scary, not scary, but unique stories about India. There's so many people. I mean, I don't want to go into it. It's rough.
Not everywhere.
Right.
But yeah, there are tiny pockets everywhere, I guess. And,
like everywhere in the world.
Everywhere in the world. It's just, I feel that in general, if you were walking around in New York, the chances of you just randomly, having someone drive past you and try to touch you and is as
drive past you and touch you is crazy.
Yeah, in my hometown, me and my brother just go out for an evening walk, and there were these dudes on a bike who literally drove past us, and this guy tried really grabbing my arm, and I was like, the fuck? I was fucking mad about it. And in Bombay, I remember during Ganesh Chaturthi, which is a really famous festival that we have, I'd gone for this 4 a.m. flower market to buy some flowers and stuff for my house because we were doing the puja and stuff. And I remember just walking, looking around at the markets, and this guy coming from in front of me tried to put his hand on my chest, and my reflexes are really strong. So I literally smacked the shit out of him, and I tried grabbing his shirt, and he ran. But I would not walk on the streets, even if I had friends with me. The time I was walking in the evening with my brother, I wasn't alone, right?
Yeah.
Despite that, if people don't have the respect or the decency to, behave properly in a social environment, in a city which is so metropolitan, it's not even a rural city that you're in. I don't know. I wouldn't be walking on the streets or ever taking public transport there. We wouldn't ever take public transport.
And what about New York? So New York is all about public transport.
I have been walking around. I have been taking public transport, and there are occasional catcalls here and there, but I've never actually had someone try to be obnoxious and like touch me or some shit like that.
Okay.
So, touch wood, I've been really lucky with that. I've never witnessed something nasty or, whatever. It's been nice.
How much did you know about New York before you moved there?
Honestly, I'd only been to New York I think once or twice. It's like the dream city where the entire world comes together for the best opportunities. It's kind of like the top of the ladder if you're someone who wants to make it big in life. And I feel that I stalled coming to New York for the longest time because everything had to be perfect. I had to be in that best spot to be in New York because it's like the best thing that could ever happen to me. And when I moved there, it was kind of an impulsive decision because before COVID happened, I was signed on with an agency in London and I was going to move to London, live there for a couple of years, work with that agency. And then through them, because they had another branch in LA, I was going to move to Los Angeles and then, be between New York and LA. But COVID happened and then I lost out on 2 years. And by the time I actually wanted to be like, okay, you know what, life's short. You don't know what's going to happen next. I don't want to keep waiting. There will never be a perfect time to do whatever I want to do. I will make it perfect by going there and
just gotta jump into it sometimes.
Just gotta do it.
Just gotta do it.
Yeah. And then New York was what was slightly more known or familiar as opposed to LA. I'd never been to LA before, so I decided to move to New York. I literally just knew one girl in the city, knew nobody. A friend's friend hosted me for a couple of days initially while I was looking for a place to live in. I had the shittiest experience finding an actual house that I would feel like,
It's expensive.
Yeah.
The perception in New York now, I'll tell you, so there's a bunch of things. One, if you can... they have that thing, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere in the world. It's
not just because it's expensive. It's also because finding good people is tough.
In New York?
Yeah. I had the shittiest experiences. I'm surprised I didn't run away. The worst roommates from roommates that were stealing from me incessantly, to roommates that were verbally abusive and racist, to roommates that were just offended with regular conversations and a difference of opinion about, say, religious, conversations and stuff. I think I had the worst time. And then I don't know. I think eventually you find your place and you find your crowd when you know what you're looking for. But it's a bit of a struggle and it can be lonely for as long as you're trying to place your things together. That part of the process where you're still trying to figure your stuff out, it can be lonely. It can feel depressing. It can be like, I don't remember the last time I was so isolated. But that happens wherever you're trying to make a new shift or a new change in your life and get into a second chapter of your life. So
okay.
All part of the game.
She's back. How you doing, Hinata? And there she goes. She wants to ask a question now. Hinata, get down. So we put her outside and then she fought us and now she's in here really fighting us. Hinata, no. Sit. I already saw you. I saw what you were gonna do. What exactly is needed and what does it take to come to the US and start working here, living here the way you did?
Well, it's really different for different people because for someone who's just pursuing a regular career, maybe in finance or, just any of those core basic subjects, or like if suppose you want to be a financial analyst or a data analyst or a business analyst, or if you want to get a job in tech or something, I would say the easiest and the best route is to actually give your GMATs and your IELTS exams or your TOEFL, whichever applies, and to get admission in a college here. So you could do a STEM program or you could do a proper graduation thing, actually go to college here, or do post-grad here. That entitles you to
educational route.
Yeah, that is the easiest and the best route.
That entitles you to
an F1 visa.
Okay.
And then the F1 converts into a small grace period when you have to find yourself a job in the exact same field that you studied.
Okay.
Cannot diverse.
So you can diverse.
No, not from your subjects. I can't study to be a data analyst and then
go become a movie star.
Yeah, not gonna happen. No, even with my visa right now, I can be an influencer. If I tomorrow sign a project as an actor, I have to reapply for a new visa under that status.
Do you have to leave and come back?
No.
Okay.
It can be done here.
You can do the reapplication.
Again, different for different visas.
Yeah, but you just have to reapply, but you can do it while still in America.
Yeah,
okay.
Because I currently have a visa to work as an influencer in the country. So that's a really easy route for people to get here and actually have a job here.
How do you transition into a citizen?
I don't know.
You don't know yet? You haven't got there yet?
And honestly, the transition into being a citizen is
it's a long process now.
It's
different.
Now it's become really difficult.
I think earlier years, I think in the 80s, I think like when my parents first got here, there was like a lot of relief too. Like if you were from Cuba, all you had to do was put one foot on Miami soil and you were welcomed into the States.
There are a lot of bad ideas also of how people get here and how they try to get the immigration status and everything. But let's not go there because I don't want to give people ideas. I do not, agree with any of those ideas.
When you take shortcuts, you get the shortcut exit also. Okay,
100%.
You don't want to take shortcuts.
And for all the people who think that those kind of shortcuts work, they don't. Not anymore. Things have become really strict, and like even the marriage visa and everything for people who are faking marriages and stuff, it does not work.
Yeah, I had a friend that faked a marriage with his best friend.
Your visa status gets revoked the minute they figure something out, or like even for like a lot of people that I know who have I meet so many photographers in my field, right? So I come across so many people who've tried that shit, and one thing gets them stuck somewhere in their papers. 20 years later, also they're here on the same status, sitting here illegally and then deported. And then you're banned from re-entering. So the best thing to do
being banned from America is crazy.
Yeah.
Being banned from a country is...
I'd rather just enroll myself in like a course or something.
So only 65% of visas are actually approved.
Yeah.
So, and that's if you collect all. Some of them, like I think the E1 visa has a 91% rate.
I don't know what the E1 is about. Oh, also I remember 74%. There's a J1 visa also for if somebody is a scientist and they're working on some really important project, or if an athlete...
Changing the worlds.
Yeah, or if there's an athlete or really, really established or talented musician who has a good, say, an orchestra player or something, So I think for those people also there's a J1 visa, which is a different category.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like visas are pretty approval based. I mean, there's high percentage. Some are low as 60, some are as high as 97%. But that also changes with how many people are applying for that specific one. Exactly. How many people are approved. This E3 one, it says on an average of a year, E3 visa gets 6,000 applications.
What's the E visa for?
E3 visa, I'm not 100% sure. And then B1 has 7.5 million. So I don't know what B1. Do you know what B1 is?
B1 is like a tourist
visa. The most generic one.
You're not allowed to live and work here.
Okay, you're not allowed to work. So E1.
You can be here for 6 months at a stretch and then you have to exit. And I think it's different for different people.
E3 is that one I thought was pretty amazing because the only one that's under 10,000. That's under the 5 digits number. E3
we should
visas.
Check what the E3 is for.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm intrigued.
You're intrigued. I am too now because all the other ones are like so high up. Like you're talking about 100,000.
H1B is the most common one I know because H1B is for all job statuses.
So a specialty occupation workers from Australia. That's why
it's specific. Not for Indians. Yeah,
it's specifically for Australians, and that's why there's so little people. Because I was looking at the numbers, and it was like, 100,000, 200,000, 6,000. I was like, oh, that's pretty crazy. All right, so I mean, so there is a process. There is ways.
There are lots of ways. You don't have to. Immigration lawyer, and you just need to know what your possibilities are.
Is it very expensive?
To get an immigration lawyer, it depends from your visa to visa, but a consultation doesn't cost much.
Okay.
So
can you nowadays, and then of course you being, so heavy in internet and understanding the metrics of everything now. Nowadays we're in the world of entrepreneurship, and like DIY, right? Do you think you could process this paperwork and actually do enough influence? If you're somebody who doesn't have the money to afford a lawyer, you think they could go on Google and figure out? You'd risk it.
At least your first time visas are so, the paperwork and the details required for it are so intricate, you don't want to mess up.
Okay.
One thing goes wrong and if you're
done.
rejected, you're flagged in the system. It's not worth it. I would say someone genuinely wants to, if they know that
if it's rejected, are you allowed to reapply?
You are, but then it's a red flag.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this person they don't even like take you seriously the second time because they're like, okay, the first time they applied something was not right, which is why they got rejected.
Yeah.
So you want to do it right the first time, which is why I didn't want to take a risk and sit and do my research online and do a DIY.
Now that you're here, is your end goal to become a citizen and live in?
My whole family is relocating here, so that was always the end goal. My brother was.
So you want to start a new generation in America?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there it is. That's, my parents made that same decision, so I'm not against that. Okay. So now I wanted to go. We put a couple props here because you're from India, and I wanted to just have a little fun real quick before we end the show. So.
Okay.
Do you know who this is?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay. All right. Okay. Did they have his? This is my favorite of all time. They had this in India.
I grew up playing those PC games.
The games?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There it is. Yeah.
Mario
I was
Sonic.
Okay. What about that guy over there? You know who that is?
I would say that's Hello Kitty.
It's. I'm gonna give you a hint. It has two different characters in it. Of course, it's Hello Kitty, but it's a version of Hello Kitty.
I don't know the version.
You don't know? Okay.
The only thing famous in India about Hello Kitty is the pink version, which
The original version with her bow. Now this is Naruto. Hello Kitty. It's the Kid Robot collaboration. It's a cool one. It's an anime. The
anime generation came on, I think, a decade after I was already done with TV and stuff. So that was.
But the anime culture is heavy in India.
It is now. It has been for a long time.
Okay.
My brother also grew up watching anime and stuff. So yeah, he knew what
so he would know.
And all of those things were not me, wasn't my thing.
Okay. All right. And then what else? Let's see. I have a book here.
Rugrats.
Did you watch the Rugrats?
Some part of it, yeah.
Some part of it? Okay, yeah. So Rugrats was there. What was, if you had to say... Dominantly, which character was that character in your world? And that side of the road.
The whole Cartoon Network and, the kids' TV thing in India was big with Walt Disney stuff. So all the Mickey Mouse, those kind of series and stuff. Okay. And then it progressed into Tom and Jerry and those classic cartoons like
we love Tom
Dexter's
and Jerry.
Laboratory,
yes.
Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls. They were big. And then it progressed into Phineas and Ferb and all of those.
Okay.
And then
Phineas and Ferb, man.
I know, right?
I love Phineas and Ferb too, but that's so new. Like I was already, I think, too old for Disney Channel by the time I started watching Phineas and Ferb.
I think I saw bits and pieces around the time my father was growing up. So
right.
Like 8 years younger.
I love the show though. It was a great show. I mean, I watch cartoons till forever. I'm still extremely young, but I watched it when you're not supposed to. But so that's amazing. That's a great insight, especially for younger kids and anybody watching to understand that.
And obviously the superhero stuff.
Yeah, of course. What was your favorite superhero?
I mean, because Chris Evans is so hot.
Oh, okay.
Captain America.
Then obviously Chris Evans.
So he's taken now.
Is he? Yeah. Is he married?
Beyond married.
Is he? I don't know.
Henry Cavill is still single.
Oh, okay.
He's occasionally cute.
Henry?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Henry.
Superman.
Superman. Oh, yeah. Was Henry?
He was like the most gorgeous Superman ever.
Have you
DM'd him? No, he has a girlfriend.
He has a girlfriend?
Yeah, we don't hit on other people's men.
Okay. But if he was single, would you DM him?
I'm not gonna lie, when I used to live in London, I would literally walk streets and be exploring and stuff, and I'd be like, oh, he lives in South Kensington. Maybe I'll like run into him and Kai, like his dog. One of these days.
Take his dog for a walk.
I wouldn't find out where he lives and go stand outside like a stalker or something. That's bizarre. I wouldn't do that.
No, just maybe like notice the same cafe that
the universe is listening,
Yeah, just maybe end up in the same cafe.
But now we like Shawn Mendes, so I think I'll just...
Now you like Shawn Mendes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Shawn will see this actually.
Yeah, so I'll probably just hang around in LA.
Shawn? Hey.
Stuff. I'll probably just run into him.
Listen, you can get a million DMs, but if you only got to open that one.
That is true.
You might be that one.
That is true.
Might be the first generation.
Favorite cafes and stuff and go stand
Guy's talented.
there,
All right, so we're gonna wrap up a little bit. Before we wrap up, I'm gonna go ahead. I know we originally met with El Cristiano, but of course you know El Cristiano Tequila. It's best tasting tequila out there in the world. So we are gonna, it's a little early in the morning. Are you planning on drinking right now or no?
Just because it's El Cristiano.
Just cause? Okay, so we'll put a little bit in here.
To being in LA for the first time.
To being in LA, this is your first time in Los Angeles. Welcome to my hometown.
Thank you.
Of course, El Cristiano. You guys can follow them at El Cristiano Tequila. And you guys actually, if it's not in your city, can order this online too. el-cristiano.com. And there's all the good stuff. It's one of the best tasting tequilas. Are you a big...
For someone who does not like the taste of alcohol at all, I will vouch for El Cristiano Tequila's taste.
Yeah.
Definitely tastes really good.
I'm a wuss when it comes to liquor, so I'm so happy that, this is so good. So here, this is for you. We're going to cheers it.
Cheers.
Cheers. We are going to send you home with this one, of course. We also have some gifts for you, especially being in the fashion realm. We want to give you. This is quick.
That sneaker cleaning.
Well, yes, you can use it on sneakers.
I was waiting to get this one, yeah.
So this is actually a quick cleaning. We developed it to be a high fashion care company. Of course, anyone can clean the sneakers, so you can use this to clean sneakers, and it's going to clean your sneakers better than any other sneaker cleaner. I'll vouch for that also. But the best part about this one is we have different tutorials on quickcleaning.com and different type of ways to do it, but it's high fashion care. So it's coconut oil based, 100% organic. It's safe to use in your leather, your higher end bags, some of the conditioning, like
bags as well.
Bags, heels. One thing we noticed is that there's so many sneaker cleaners outside, but there's no really care for fashion. And your heels get dirty. And then, we're happy to have you here in the States, and I'm so glad that you're back.
Yes,
and
thank you
I know we met in Mexico originally.
Yes.
And that was a fun and phenomenal trip. Did you want to plug anything in that you have coming up? Maybe your Instagram?
A whole bunch of cool stuff. A lot of first time experiences for me. First time in being in the United States, first time of getting a work visa here, first time of actually infiltrating the industry and going out and doing so many first time experiences. First time of being here in LA now, and I'm going to be doing the Ultra Music Festival, then hopefully Coachella as well. Let's see. So if you guys want to see the stuff that I do and just follow for inspiration, not to be influenced by me, please go ahead and take a look at my Instagram handle. It's MEGHABAJAJ. That's Megha Bajaj, my name. And you can also find me on Snapchat with Bajaj Megha. So the last name first and then the first name.
Okay, there it is. Okay, and of course, you know where to find me. I'm at Michelangelo Falcon. That's quick cleaning. I El Cristiano Tequila, and shop at the store at Equivalents. And we're gonna go to Boba Shop. We're going to Boba and Things right after this. I gotta cover the other brand. At Boba and Things right after this, because you need to get some boba. You say you're a big boba fan. You love boba. So
there's this place in New York which is not even one of the fancy boba places, tea makers, but it's like on the street which is right behind my building. Every other day I'm popping by to get bobas just because I love their bobas. Okay,
well, hopefully you love mine even more. And fun thing about ours is you get to build your own.
I love that.
So you can make your own. We're gonna make it from scratch. Your own personalized drink. Once again, this is Mic'd Up with Michelangelo, and I'm here with my good friend Megha. And always, guys, make sure you guys, I think it's like, subscribe, and some other good stuff if we're on here, or listen to us, tag us, listen to all my new music, anything she got coming out that's gonna be coming around. And until next time, guys, peace.